They stood in my living room, wrinkling their noses like they'd stepped into something rotten. And that's when I realized something. They weren't criticizing my house, they were trying to control my life. And the moment I laughed and told them exactly how little their opinions mattered, the look on their faces was priceless. If you've ever had family members who think they know better than you, who can't stand that you're happy on your own terms, then you're going to want to hear this one. Before we get into it, hit subscribe, drop a like, and comment if you've ever dealt with judgmental relatives who confuse helping with bullying. Trust me, this story delivers a quiet kind of revenge that feels so good. So here's how it all started. I'm 36 years old, and 5 years ago, my entire life trajectory shifted in a way I never expected. I inherited a fully paid off house. No mortgage, no liens, no debt. Just keys in my hand and a silence that followed the loss of one of the most important men in my life. He wasn't my biological uncle. He was my dad's best friend. But from the time I was born, he was just uncle. The kind of man who showed up. The kind who worked brutal, physical jobs his entire life and still somehow had energy to listen to a kid ramble on about nothing. He lived simply, honestly, and unapologetically on his own terms. I remember once, when I was really little, asking him why he never married a nice lady. He didn't get offended. He didn't dodge the question. He just smiled, looked at my dad, and said, "Because I like men, not ladies." I, being a kid with zero filter, immediately asked why he didn't just marry my dad then, since they liked each other so much. My dad laughed so hard beer shot out of his nose. My mom thought the story was hysterical. That was the kind of household I grew up in. Open, warm, real. When my uncle died in an industrial accident, it gutted me. Losing him hurt in a way that sat heavy in my chest for months. But in his will, he left everything to me. Not millions, not a trust fund, but something arguably more powerful in today's world: stability. The house. It's a bungalow built in 1953, in an older neighborhood that used to be full of families and now is being slowly swallowed by developers. It's dated. Avocado, green tub. Original narrow hardwood floors. Layout straight out of a time capsule, and I love it. The yard alone is a dream, massive. My garden takes up the back corner and is bigger than some of my friends' entire backyards. I've got a heated, double-detached garage with a workshop and enough tools to last me a lifetime. Everything is solid, maintained, cared for, and most importantly, it's paid off. I work a job I genuinely enjoy. It's fulfilling. It pays enough. And because I don't have a mortgage hanging over my head like a guillotine, my wife and I live comfortably. Vacations without debt. Cars replaced when needed, not financed into oblivion. Retirement accounts growing steadily. No panic, no paycheck to paycheck stress. I'm not humble bragging. I'm straight up bragging. I miss my uncle every single day, but because of him, I'm standing on solid ground. Enter my in-laws. From the very first visit, I could feel it. That energy. That subtle disdain wrapped in fake concern. Every time they came over, it was like they were auditioning for a home renovation show. They'd point at the tub. "Oh, that color." They'd glance down at the floors. "You're really keeping those." They'd sigh dramatically at the kitchen, the walls, the fixtures. Everything. It was never curiosity, never appreciation. It was judgment. My wife and I would exchange looks, tight smiles. The kind you give when you're trying to keep the peace, but your jaw is clenched so hard it hurts. Meanwhile, they live in a massive, beautiful, brand new house. Mortgage so big it requires 3 incomes to sustain, my wife's parents and her brother all paying into it. The place looks like a magazine spread, and their utilities. Around $1,600 a month, just to exist in their own home. But to them, we were the problem. See, our city rezoned older neighborhoods for high-density infills. Every house that sells gets torn down. Duplexes, 4plexes, 8plexes, skinny houses shoved together like sardines. McMansions that blot out the sky. I explained this to them again and again. If we ever sell, no young family is buying this place. A developer will. Renovations won't save it. Granite countertops won't stop a bulldozer. Her brother, the real estate expert, kept insisting that a new kitchen would magically protect the house from demolition, as if stainless steel appliances scare off developers. It wasn't about logic, it was about optics. They couldn't stand that we weren't drowning in debt like they were, that we were content, that we weren't chasing bigger, newer, sheenier things. To them, not upgrading meant failing. The comments kept coming, visit after visit, passive-aggressive sighs. We just worry about your future. You could do so much better. Don't you want more? Each time, it chipped away at me. Not anger at first, more disbelief. How could people look at a stable, happy life and see a problem? Then came the visit. They were over again. Standing in the living room. Same routine. Same critiques. My chest felt tight. I could hear my heartbeat in my ears. My wife looked at me and I knew she was done too. This time, I didn't smile. I told them calmly that their opinions on our living situation didn't matter to me. Silence. My wife stepped in immediately. Ride or die. She told them this was our home, the place we planned to raise our kids. And they needed to drop it. They got huffy, defensive. We just want the best for you, they said, like a script they'd rehearsed. That's when something in me clicked. I smiled. I said, I'd be more than happy to do any renovations you think are necessary, if you pay for them. No strings attached. They froze. Backpedaling started immediately. Oh, no, we should pay for it. It's our house, after all. Their vision, their standards. And that's when I laughed. Not a nervous laugh, not polite. A genuine, out-loud laugh. And I said, no, that was it. One word. Calm. Final. Their faces fell. They were upset, not because they cared about us, but because we refused to bend. We refused to take on debt. We refused to perform success the way they wanted. That was the revenge. Not yelling, not insults, not renovations, just unshakable confidence. I felt lighter, free, vindicated, like I'd honored my uncle's legacy by living exactly how he taught me to on my own terms. They left shortly after, quiet, stiff, no more commentary. And for the first time, my house felt even more like home. Sometimes the most satisfying revenge isn't flashy. It's refusing to be ashamed of a life you love. If you enjoyed this story, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying moment you've ever had standing your ground? Because peace, paid off peace, that's the ultimate win.